How about it, y'all? Lake Seminole Ramblins fishing report and news around the area. I'm your host, local guide Chris Taylor. Yeah, you know what that sound means. Turkey time is here. Turkey season kicked off over the weekend with a special youth and mobility impaired hunting opportunity. Our buddy Ryan Higgins, he took advantage of this, took his boy out, Jackson, took a big Georgia longbeard, y'all. First turkey alert, so congratulations to Jackson. I believe the measurements on that was a 9-inch beard, 1-inch spurs, and 17 pounds. Again, congratulations, buddy. Ain't nothing better than getting you a big Georgia long beard about 7:30 in the morning. All right, the Jason Davis Memorial Tournament. That is presented by CRPT. It will be held on Saturday, June 18th at the Boat Basin. It will run from safe light until 3 p.m. Eastern Time and carries a $60 entry fee. Y'all, all of the entry fees, proceeds, etc. will go straight to Jason's family. For more information on the tournament, see the post on our Facebook page or drop by Lake Seminole Outdoors and check the flyer that they have on their front door, and also check out the meat and tackle and really good stuff they have in there as well. All right, bass report. Y'all, the wind has been blowing out there this week. I mean, it is the windy time of year out here, but 2 days of straight west wind at 15 sustained, gusts of 30. It's absolutely miserable. You have to find protected water. And on the Flint River, it just blows straight down the river. It's really hard to get out of it. A tool that I use is a website called Ventusky, and it will let you look at live and future wind and radar and temperature and all kind of things. But the main one that I use is the wind gusts and the sustained wind. It's a good tool to look at before you go out fishing for the day and just see where your winds are, and then you can kind of plan an area where you're going to fish. But it really helps to kind of get out of those really windy areas, get into some protected waters, because this is a shallow lake, and y'all, shallow lake and high winds, it gets rough. So just be prepared and use that tool to kind of help you out. Yeah, Chris, tell us about the bass. Where are the bass? All right, y'all, listen. If you're up cruising the shallows and you're used to fishing North Georgia or North Alabama or different waters than this, you're missing out. Y'all, this is wave 3. So remember, we had a small wave in January. Our main wave, I feel like every fish in the lake went on full moon in February. This is wave 3, and it's the tail end of it. So if you're cruising around the shallows, and I'm talking about foot and a half, 2 foot water, you're not going to find them. You might find some small ones, but the good ones, good males, they out 3 to 5 foot sand. You got to find it, you got to fish it, you got to check it. That's how it is. Don't waste your time in the shallows. You also got to remember that there's a lot of pressure on these bedding fish right now. 2 high school tournaments this month, a bunch of other local tournaments, other clubs, all kind of stuff. These fish have seen every worm manufactured. They've seen every frog manufactured. They've seen every common bait, every chatterbait, every stealth blade, carbon blade, Picasso, inline spinner. Y'all, they've seen a lot of things, so you need to throw something different at them. One way that I'm catching them, I'm throwing a square bill around some of this stuff. Not a lot of people can throw a square bill around grass, so that's one thing that the fish hadn't seen a lot of. Just an example. If you have a real goofy, tricky worm or something that they hadn't seen, it might get bit. Have some ugly old topwater bait they hadn't seen, throw it. It might get bit. Anyway, if you're looking for females, most of them, they're still cruising around the sand areas. So that's a really good ecosystem, that sand. They're not going to go really far. So it's not like traditional lakes. Some people fish where she comes up there in beds and then she gets gone in some super deep water or whatever the deal is. She's still hanging around. She might be in 5-7 foot grass. She might be on 8 foot scatter grass. Just depends on the location where you're fishing. Starting to see a little bit of a shad spawn starting up. Those spinnerbait early mornings around grass points and irregularities. And I was getting topwater bites. Wednesday, I caught 6 on a topwater plug. I lost 2 or 3. Caught 6 on a spinnerbait. So the fishing is picking up with spinnerbaits. which means the shad spawn is knocking on our door, which is some of my favorite fishing. I love catching them on a spinnerbait. Dawn from At Ease Campground reports that visitor James Silver from Saratoga, New York, caught him an 8-pounder right off the dock. Man, he said he made first cast, didn't even close the bail on his spinning rod, and there she was. Fish of a lifetime for that gentleman from New York, so congratulations there, Mr. James. All right, Speckled Perch report, crappie. Hearing reports of some specks that are spawning. Some are full of eggs. Some being caught on grass lines. Some being caught on the deep wood. Some being caught in the ledges. All about where you're going and what phase they're in. But this is a good time of year to catch 2-pound crappie all day long. Throwing jigs or minnows. I like a 1/8 ounce or 16th ounce head with a black and chartreuse twister tail. And if you want to go even further, take the minnow, put it on your jig hook, and catch them. And lastly, brim report. I am hearing some chatter of possibly some brim starting to bed up around the upper drain, like Ray's Lake area. To catch these fish, you're going to want to throw crickets, worms, or a beetle spin. That's a little secret for a big shellcracker. When they get on, you can throw a beetle spin around and really wreck them. Just a little secret, when you do find these bedding shellcracker, bedding brim, whatever you're targeting, if it's in super clear water, you have to be stealthy. You cannot go in there with a big cork and a big lead, throw it on their bedding areas, have it go bloop, and expect them to stay around. You will watch the entire bed scatter, so be a little stealthy with it. And if you find a sand area and they're not on that sand, check around in the reeds. Sometimes they pull up in those reeds. I am still seeing some brim schooling up around these bedding areas on the Flint. So if you want to try to catch them on the grass lines, you can do that. But reports are they are starting to bed a little bit, but it's not all over the lake just yet. It should be coming anytime now. And lastly, we want to welcome the new owners of Jack Wingate's old Lunker Lodge. It will now be called At Ease Campground and Marina. We want to welcome Don and Patty Fabian. Welcome, y'all. Make sure to stop in over there and see Don and Patty at Ease. If you need bait or fuel, if you're hungry, or if you just need good conversation. I can sit there and talk to Don for a long time. Met him a few times. Really super nice fella. Good dude. Military man. So he'll do anything he can to help you, and he's always there. So make sure to stop in and see those fine folks over there. Thank you for listening to the Lake Seminole Ramblins Fishing Report. I'm your host, local guide, Chris Taylor. If you'd like to take a trip with me or any of our other guides that we have, you can visit us online at www.lakeseminolefishingguides.com. Until next week, see y'all later.